naye nga ebikwekweto bino tuze tubikola this time kyenkoze ekyenjawulo nzize nembawa a comprehensive brief era maze obudde bungi leero nga nkola this explanation. Waliwo abuuziza ku kintu ekikwatagana ne omukyala we baatemula muyite Edon owa Uganda Christian University nti baawe bamukute siinaako information yonna ekwatagana n'okukwata kwa baawe. Then waliwo eyabuuziza naye kino saakizeemu mu gundi mu Luzungu kubanga ndabako emundu zino waliwo yabuuziza ku mundu nti emundu zivaawa. Emundu ziva mu bifo bingi naye almost twetaaga having a conversation maybe tubawe esomo ekwatagana ne gun violence. Mundu ziva mu bifo bingi kyova olaba twateekawo kye twayita gun fingerprinting nti tugezeeko okufingerprinting emundu nga tuziyisa mu zi kompyuta ng'emundu bwekuba tutegeera eva wa ani. Ate kituyambyeko nti ezimu ze babba waliwo bw'osanga ng'emundu either bagibye ku mukuuma ddembe oluusi bagibye ku private security tutera okuzitracinga ne tutegeera n'okutegeera waawe zikoze emirimu. Ekyokubiri tuyina border areas zaffe nga bwe tumanyi tuyina mu mirirwano sijja kumentioninga nsi naye mu mirirwano egyo tuyinamu ensi ezikyayina obutabanguko. So mu Luzungu waliwo kye tuyita proliferation of small firearms. Nosanga nga emundu kyangu okuva mu mawanga amalala neyita mu bupanyapanya neyesanga mu bitundu maybe ebya Kampala oba ne trading centers endala ng'ereeta tabu. Naye tuyina enkolegana n'amawanga ago gye tuliko era operations ezo nyingi in respect to the non-proliferation of those small firearms and light weapons. So era wano wenjagala n'okuddiramu kino ono agamba nti Uganda eri safe. Uganda eri safe. Obumenyi bw'amateeka obwo bwe mulaba tekitegeeza nti tetuyina tembe wano. Uganda eri safe ate ne security tufaayo nnyo buli bwe tusanga ekituli nga tugezaako okukiziba. Just ekintu kye mulina okumanya nti obumenyi bw'amateeka nga bwe nayogedde teriyo nsi kebe abo abanene yali emazeewo obumenyi bw'amateeka. N'ensi endala ezitusinzeeko budgets technology n'ebirala ezimu zitusinga n'obumenyi bw'amateeka. Mbawaddeyo mu Luzungu awo example nti bw'oba nga osoma nnyo ku crime osoma ku the District of Columbia. Mu Uganda tuyimiridde ku obumenyi bw'amateeka ba reportinga mu report gye twasemba okubawaayo ba reporting emisango 472 ku buli bantu emitwalo 10. District of Columbia eri mu 10 n'omusobyo ku bantu ku emisango 10 of violent crime. Alaska ndoza oba Kansas something like that eri mu bina either bina ziri high so either bina lusanvu. So kyenjagala okubategeeza teriwo muntu asobola kubawa a plain sheet of a crime free society. Naye kye kigendererwa kyaffe nti tugezaako okulwanisa okulaba nti obumenyi bw'amateeka bwoza omusango tukukwata. Bw'ogezaako okukola ekintu kyonna ekitali mu mateeka nga tujja. Abantu bwe bakuba enduulu ne bagamba poliisi mujje mutuyambe nga tujja. So twagala okubategeeza nti teriiwo security eri gulugulu. Then waliwo eyabuuziza ku nti kiki mwine enjawulo gye mugenda okuteekawo kubanga tulaba patrols n'ebikwekweto naki tebirikola. Ebikwekweto birikola ne inputs zonna ze tuli okukola mujjukire ziyina enjawulo gye zireeseewo. Luli nabawa information nti emundu ennya ze twakwata mu Kampala Metropolitan zireeseewo akabemberezi. At least there is some sigh of relief. Then ne bino ebikwekweto mujja kuba mulaba nti biina enjawulo gye bireeseemu. Banaye mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Maybe nja kuwa information eyo nga njirambise bulungi. Katuwe ekyenjawulo ekiriwo is mu scale of deployment. Nesira tuliteeka nnyo mu bifo ebyo bye tuyita crime hotspots. Ne number of operations ze tukola zijja kweyongerako maanyi. Naye kyemwetaaga n'okumanya is that already policing module gye tutambulirako, the community sub-county policing module, etuyamba kubanga module eyo IGP kye yagireetera. Initially twalina challenge nti twalina nga abasirikale naye nga bali segmented nga batono nnyo, ng'osanga police post erina abasirikale aba omu bw'alwala nga leero omulala asigala talina kyasobola kuyamba community gyalimu. Naye kati ne tuba consolidatinga ate kyane tubongeramuuko neki enamba n'ebikozesa. Maybe ekirungi onkomezaawo mu kintu kye twagala okusaba modyo nga zino bwe tuziteekawo abantu muzeeyambise. Bwe tuteeka abasirikale ku sub county mujja kwebuuza bantu bameka abayina essimu za sub county police stations ezo. Ojja kusanga nga batono nnyo, ate especially bw'ojja mu bibuga bino it is even worse. Abantu they are not. Ate nga tujja tukola community policing programs, tukuba enkuŋŋaana ku byalo, so twagala okubiriza abantu baffe especially the elite mujumbire relationship eyo ne police, so that bw'okuba essimu police esobola okurespondinga mu budde. Twongedde amamotoka, at least buli muntu azze alaba enamba z'amamotoka. Buli district ya oba buli division eya Uganda today mu police eyina emmotoka. Seemu waliwo abayina n'emmotoka ennya. Buli sub county kati tugenze tuteekayo zipiki. Piki muzze mulaba tugondi. Just in the last financial year, they were in Sina, the exact figure, naye twa supporting the ground troops with over 2,000 motorcycles. So those are for what we would call anti-crime infrastructure enablers. They are, name it, whatever word you would use, but they are playing a very, very significant role in the response of police to crime. Amasimu bw'ogenda ku police stations ezo zonna ziyina amasimu, naye the question is muzikuba. Wano nakaholdinga more than 5 press conferences ngampa the police hotlines, nganziwa more than 6 hotlines, naye ojja kusanga omuntu ng'ali ku mukutu agamba poliisi tetubalaba, naye bw'omubuuza olina enamba ya poliisi nga tagiyina. So in other words, what we want let the people also play the civic responsibility. But this civic responsibility is in the Constitution. When you read the Constitution, the responsibility is not only for state agencies. I think, is it Article 17? Yeah. So let people also have civic competence and have appreciation of their responsibility. Omutemu gwabwe gwe bayina mu kulwanisa obumenyi bw'amateeka n'okukwasisa amateeka amalala ag'eggwanga. Ndoza tetuyitawo wano mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala. Ekya trade order kati naye ngenda kutandika okusiima KCCA. KCCA yakoze omulimu mulungi, ndoza mwenna mwagusiimye. We need a clean city. Ekyokubiri tusiime n'abo ababadde ku nguudo abakkiriza okuvaako nga tebakoze eki, kubanga bwe bawulira omulanga gwaffe naffe nga poliisi twavaayo ne twongera ku mulango ogwo ne tugamba bannaye muveeko, mugende muyingire mu butale ne solutions endala gye ziri. At least let there be a conversation. Naye ezenguudo ezo ziyina ne effect ku security. Omulanga baguwulira kati jjo nalabye awali abakubye omulanga ku container ya URA. Commissioner General n'agwanukula n'agamba container evaawo. Kati omulanga mpulira ogugwo nti container za poliisi oba police booths obubaka bw'omufunye ssebo ngenda kubutwala eri poliisi, tujja kuba tubawaaki feedback. Naye ekitono jasi kyenjagala okwongerako nti amawanga amatono gentambuddeko wabweru eyo booths zibeerayo. Ojja genda mawanga ago gonna babeera ne cobans, kubanga oluusi ojja kusanga nga booth eyo kati nga ku northern bypass mujjukira wadde twazijjawo naye twayinanga police booths, ojja kwesanga ng'ogyetaaga. So sometimes security is peculiar and unique. Naye we shall have that conversation after the feedback. Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala. Mugenda kikola asooke? Oh, it's okay. Ndogo. There you can come.
Yes. Vudeyo. Good morning, colleagues. I convey greetings from the Ministry of Internal Affairs to you all. We love you so much. We thank you for the great job you are doing for Uganda as a whole. I have been away for some time to have a rest. I'm also a human being, but nonetheless, I'm here. I have a few briefs to talk about, and to begin with, I will start with the recall of the generals from immigration. Last week, Major General Apollo Kasita Goa, who was serving as the Chief of Citizenship and Immigration Control, and Brigadier General Johnson Namanya, Commissioner for Citizenship and Passport Management, were directed to report back to UPDF headquarters. That was on the evening of Thursday. Thursday night. This marks, of course, the end of their tour of duty in the National Citizenship and Immigration Control, NCIC. And both officers, of course, were regionally seconded and appointed the Ministry of Internal Affairs in late 2018, and they oversaw the streamlining of citizenship, immigration, and passport operations. We wish the officers continued success in their new deployments. Operations and immigration-related services at the headquarters and elsewhere are not affected, and work continues normally. Passport operations, visa applications, legal and compliance, inspections, all those services are going on smoothly without any crisis. The second one is about the Uganda-Egypt agreement on visa-free travel for official and diplomatic passports. You may be aware that we have been having issues traveling to Egypt, where we were even diplomatic passport holders and service passport holders were being asked to apply and acquire visa in order to travel to Egypt here in Africa. Well, talks have been ongoing, and I now am happy to report that we have achieved visa-free travel for official and diplomatic passport holders from Uganda and also from Egypt visiting Uganda. So, of course, Uganda and the Arab Republic of Egypt, they established bilateral agreements, and this is to facilitate and ease the travel, including the mutual visa exemptions for, of course, those passport categories I've talked about. However, standard, or what we refer to as ordinary passport holders from both nations are not covered by the exemption and must still apply for visas under normal procedures. This builds on Uganda's existing, of course, visa abolition agreements with various countries for diplomatic and service passports, and Egypt's reciprocal policies for similar categories. And of course, this points to the strength of our passport. If you hear of visiting a country without visa, it means that our passport has gained some level of strength. So the deal, of course, supports broader diplomatic, trade, and cultural ties between the two African nations, and this took effect on 17th Jan 2026. Earlier on, in a tweet, I think last week, at the beginning of last week, I did communicate about the arrangement with the United Arab Emirates, also concerning a visa waiver deal. And of course, this was activated, and it was effective from February 10th, 2026 for both nationals from Uganda and those from UAE. For UAE nationals, there's some bit of a difference here, that holders of diplomatic, special, ordinary, and service passports can enter Uganda visa-free for stays of up to 90 days. Diplomatic passports, you may be aware, are diplomats for the VIPs, president, ministers, and that group of people. We have service passports. These are passports, of course, held by officials other than the VVIPs, members of parliament, and other categories of Ugandans, including heads of government departments. Then we have special passports. These are, for us in Uganda now, we did away with this, but other countries like UAE have special passports. What are they? These are passports that are given to individuals with a special purpose or function or mission for the government. For instance, if in Uganda we had somebody were interested in to go and do for us a certain mission outside here, maybe sports or otherwise, then that category of passport known as special is issued to that kind of person. And it normally lasts for 1 year. For Ugandan nationals, of course, traveling to the UAE, only holders of diplomatic and service passports qualify for visa-free entry into the UAE for up to 90 days within any 180-day period. However, ordinary Ugandan passport holders are not included and must, of course, follow standard UAE visa procedures. The third one, I would like to thank Uganda Police Force for the operation they carried out in Rodai cell in Soroti, eastern part of the country, where we were able to arrest a lady whose names have been kept secret until investigations are completed. This lady has been in the habit of forging Ugandan passports, not only passports like my colleague Rusoke talked about. They have also been in the habit of forging other documents such as Interpol letters, yellow fever, and stuff like that. This lady has been doing that because she has, I think, demand from people who seek for these services. From how can a whole Uganda, whether has gone to school or not, seek for a passport from Rodai, deep down in Soroti, well aware that passports are only issued by one authority, Uganda Immigration Authority. Passports issued from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs continues to warn citizens, of course, to be cautious of fraudsters in the passport application process. I would like to warn Ugandans who are fallen prey to this, that there are very sharp Ugandans out there looking for money, and they will always employ all manner of tricks to try to get money from you, including one shrewd one who came to the ministry headquarters one time. I remember talking about it, where somebody came very early in the morning and found Ugandans lining up. Of course, they come early before we arrive at the ministry. Ugandans line up, and somebody came very shrewd and just paraded all these people. There were about 500 applicants who were lining up to Rufula. He made them follow him up to Rufula, and he charged them 10,000 from each, purportedly to take pictures for passport applications, something we have never asked for. And those people were conned just from here in Kampala. So I want to ask my brothers, my sisters, my aunties, my fathers, my uncles, to be very careful. There are those smart people in Kampala and elsewhere. Just see now, this one is in Rodai, deep down in Soroti. People are looking for money, and there's no way we can present over this. There's no way we can prevent this, because we're everywhere. But it is out of your own civic right and civic responsibility, like Afande said, to also think twice, do some due diligence. This person asking to process a passport for me, is he right? Does he work in the Ministry of Internal Affairs? Even if he works in the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the passport is only handled and processed from designated passport offices. And we have about 5 in Uganda. We have Ministry headquarters, Old Port Bay Road. We have Barara Passport Office. We have Mobile Passport Office. We don't have one in Soroti. We have one in Ngulu. We have one in India. And one in Akwa. We do not have any passport office whatsoever, nor Rodai cell in Soroti, where this sharp lady flees these Ugandans. So I call upon Ugandans who are seeking for passport service to do so using only our one website, www.passports.go.ug, and it is easy to use and navigate through. And applications can be made even on smartphones. You don't have to have a computer. Even a smartphone can actually help you to apply for a passport wherever you are and be able to pay for a passport in your sitting room, in your bedroom, even when you are in a taxi traveling using the mobile money services. So you don't have to be in office in order to apply for a passport. And the ministry would like to emphasize that we do not work with any brokers or agents for any of these services. The ministry does not use any broker. We don't have agents anywhere. And all of passport, all of these applications, all of these immigration-related services are only handled at the ministry and the designated offices. Outside Uganda, we have passport offices in Beijing, China. We have Copenhagen, Denmark. We have Ottawa in Canada. We have Pretoria, South Africa. We also opened one in Turkey. The capital of Turkey is Istanbul. We have one there. Then we have one in in London. So these are the only designated passport offices where one is supposed to go and seek for passport service. I want also to add that there are a group of Ugandans who are in countries where we don't have embassies, even have passport services. These countries like Argentina, like Brazil. So in case you find yourself in Brazil and you have no passport, or the passport has gotten lost or expired and you would like to get a passport, the advice is just one. What you do, you write to the passport office of that country. For instance, if one is living in Brazil and happens to lose a passport and would like to replace one or would like to travel, what you do, if you want to travel for emergency passes and you want a document travel, what you have got to do is visit the passport office of that country, Brazil in this case. And Brazil, because of the agreements we have through ICAO, we will issue a document. And this document will enable you to return home. And it is a one-way document, which only allows you to travel back home. The 261 passports that were nabbed by Uganda police, we are going to investigate, of course. We have not yet looked at them. We're going to subject them to forensic checks to see if they are genuine passports or fake. My suspicion is that some of these could be forged, because these days it is almost impossible for you to forge a Ugandan passport. These digital passports are very, very, very difficult to forge. These passports have a chip which is embedded in them. And the information you see on the biodata page is not the only information that is contained in the passport. So most of these people will only forge what they are seeing on the biodata page: the name, the date of birth, the place of birth, and things like that. But there's a lot of information that is hidden in the chip, which cannot be accessed by these fraudsters. The only machine that can read the chip is a domicile at the airports, because it is too expensive that even fraudsters cannot afford to acquire it. So the information on the biodata page is just part of a lot of information that we have in the passport. So they only forge what they are seeing, but there's a lot. We have names of your parents that are hidden in the chip. We have people's portions that are hidden in the chip, and you can't be able to forge what you are seeing. So definitely, you'll be wasting a lot of your precious time to go to Oradai and seek for passport services. Definitely, we shall not be. So we are going to subject these passports. We are going to work police, and of course, my suggestion is that they may not be genuine. And in the case there are some which are genuine, there are some Ugandans who have been duped and asked to bring passports. Those who are desperate actually to travel outside for Cheyo. So they have been duped by some of these people, and these people collect passports from the community. And when they collect these passports, some of them have been dealing with cartels in Dubai and selling these passports, those cartels, not for travel purposes, but for purposes of trafficking drugs. I told you one time here that most of our people out there, internationally, especially in China, and those other European countries, they cannot differentiate between two black people, apart from a man and a woman. If there are two men, me and him, if I present his passport, just by the merely looking at it, they cannot differentiate. So it is only the biometric machine that can differentiate. So what they do, they use those documents to traffic drugs, not for travel. Because for travel, it is almost next to impossible to travel on those passports. It cannot be possible to travel on somebody's passport. So what they use them to just as an identity for selling their drugs. Just as we cannot differentiate between, especially Chinese, I think we can differentiate between two. If they presented documents, it is very difficult for you to be able to differentiate it. So they equally same. They cannot differentiate as black people. If two men, they can only differentiate between a man and a woman. So I want to call upon my brothers and sisters and those who are in the habit of selling their passports for purposes of drug trafficking, that you are putting yourself in danger. You are arrested without knowing the crime. We had about 80 cases of drug trafficking. That was in China. And we are mentioning that Ugandans have been arrested involved in drug trafficking. When we made our way there to identify these people, some time back, we found them, of course, using Ugandan names. And we tried to use our own method of identifying them by speaking the local languages, especially Luganda, which is mostly spoken because they had Chiganda names, and when we tried to speak to them in Uganda, out of the 80, only 2 could respond. The 78 were clearly non-Ugandans, but using Ugandan passport. You can see the danger such people put our country in, and those countries think these people are Ugandans, but in actual sense they are not Ugandans, but just using Ugandan passports. Because we asked them, and we only identified 2 Ugandans in that whole lot of drug traffickers. So I want to ask Ugandans to consciously and jealously guard their booklets, this passport. It is something that identifies you. It is something that can throw you in danger. And lastly, I would like to say something about travel advisory of individuals intending to travel to Uganda. We had, starting 18th February 2026, we issued some guidelines targeting people who come to Uganda to visit. There are people who come here to visit for business, for tourism, for studies. Others come for benchmarking in certain various aspects. For visa requirements, if a country requires a visa, you have got to provide a cover letter or invitation letter explaining the purpose of the visit. Why are you coming to Uganda? Then 2, the travel document, which is the passport, which must be 6 months of validity, at least. It must be of 6 months validity. Same applies to us Ugandans. Those of you who are applying for visas to go outside Uganda, you must ensure that your passport is at least having 6 months validity, at least. Short of that, it is an internationally accepted requirement that they cannot process a visa in a passport that is less than 6 months of validity. Then, of course, recent passport photos and confirmed hotel booking. The turnaround time for visa issuance here in Uganda is 48 hours. Within 48 hours, we shall be responding back, either to issue a visa or to deny one. And the visa fees rates are as follows: single entry. What do we mean by single entry? Single entry means you applied for a visa to come to Uganda once. There are multiple visas where you come to Uganda, you go back, and then you can use that visa to keep coming and going back for a certain period, maybe for 1 year, for 6 months, like that. Then single entry means if you come to Uganda that first time and you get, the moment you depart Entebbe, that visa is expired. That's what we mean by single entry visas. Then, of course, we have that visa costs Uganda, US dollar, $50. And we have multiple entry visa where you keep coming in, going, without applying for visa. You use that very visa, but coming in and going out multiple times. And this one is issued between 6 to 12 months, and it costs only $100 US. Then we have East African tourist visa. This one is a 3 months multiple entry within Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda. This visa is issued by Uganda, and when you come to Uganda, you can use the same visa to go to Rwanda, the same visa to go to Kenya without having to be asked for another visa for that period. East African tourist visa. For these people who come here for tourism, you can use it, go to Rwanda, go to Kenya. At least we have that tripartite agreement within the 3 member states. And in the same vein, I wish to tell Ugandans that national ID has been gazetted and recognized as a travel document to at least 2 countries from here for you Ugandans. You can use national ID to go to Rwanda without being asked for a passport. You can use national ID to go to Kenya without being asked for a passport. Simply carry your national ID, go to the airport. Some people originally thought that national ID cannot allow one to fly. No. That's not the issue. You can actually use national ID and fly to Nairobi, fly to Kigali, using just national ID. So national ID, on top of several other transactions, can also act as a travel document. We have another travel document for those who don't have national ID, but you are Ugandans, especially for countries that share with us border, land borders, which are these: Rwanda, we have DRC, Congo, we have South Sudan, we have Kenya, we have which other one? Those countries where we share the border. Those countries, you can be given a document when you are at the border, and that document costs only 10,000 shillings. It lasts 1 month. That document enables you to travel to Kenya, come back, and you can use it for a period of 1 month. It costs only 10,000 Uganda shillings. And then we have another document known as, because we have continued to make travel very easy, there's a document called Certificate of Identity. Certificate of Identity is a document that can enable you to travel to countries even where we don't share a land border. You can go to Zimbabwe, you can go to Zambia. It normally operates within East African countries and COMESA member countries, PTA and COMESA member countries. That document can actually take you there, and it costs only 40,000 Uganda shillings on top of passports. So do not have issues, do not go to the fraudsters because you want to travel to Kenya quickly and you don't have time to process a passport. Just go to the border. If you have an ID and you're going to, the ID only applies to Kigali, to Rwanda and Kenya. Now, if you are going outside Kenya and Rwanda, say going to Tanzania, then you can use that document of 1 month of 10,000. You can be able to use that. It is called TMP, Temporary Movement Permit, TMP. It costs 10,000. You can go to the border, identify yourself that you are Ugandan, and they will sell it to you at 10,000, and you'll be able to cross to Tanzania or any place you want to go to without having to worry about. Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because I don't want our people to go to fraudsters in times of emergency. Somebody wants to travel and has no passport, and it takes maybe 5 working days to process a passport or more, depending on the conditions or on the situation, and then you will be forced to go to the fraudster. Don't do that. Go to any office of immigration, wherever it may be, and they will always have a solution for you, a Ugandan, especially Ugandan. Just ensure that you're Ugandan, and we shall be able to give you the service. Now, there are countries where you don't need visa to go to. There are visa-exempt countries. I think I gave some media houses this list. I can still share the list again because it is long. I can't read it here. But quickly, there's Bahamas, there's Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, Botswana, Burundi, Comoros, Cyprus, Democratic Republic of Congo, Eritrea, Fiji, Gambia, Ghana, Grenada, Special Administrative Territory of China, Hong Kong, Ireland, Jamaica, Kenya, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Malaysia, Malta, Mauritius, Mozambique, Rwanda, Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Singapore, Solomon Islands, South Sudan, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Swaziland. This Swaziland these days is called the Swatini. I think that's the new name, Swaziland. It's called the Swatini. Tonga, Trinidad and Tobago, United Arab Emirates. But now United Arab Emirates is for only diplomatic and service passport holders. United Republic of Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe. Those are some of the countries where you don't need a visa to go to. For instance, of course, nationals from visa-exempt countries who hold also conventional travel documents issued to them by any country are equally visa-exempt. What do we mean by conventional travel document? CTD. These are passports that are held by refugees. In Uganda, we have refugees and totaling almost 2 million. And when they come here, they surrender their passports at the office of the Prime Minister, and then they are given a card. They use that card to apply for a passport, and that passport is known as conventional travel document. It is a 32-page document costing 220,000, and this kind of passport takes them to anywhere apart from the country of origin. What do I mean? If you are a refugee from Congo, for instance, and you come to Uganda and we give you a CTD, you are not supposed to go to Congo. You can go elsewhere apart from Congo. Why? Because you did tell us that you are being persecuted in Congo. So why should you go there? So we protect you elsewhere, you don't have to go to Congo. The moment you drop in Congo, that nullifies that document. The day you drop there means the document is null and void. So those are the CTD, and it is the Ministry of Internal Affairs that issues those documents. And of course, for Ugandans who hold diplomatic and official passport, these days we changed the name from official to service passports, the green ones. The holders of this can go to these countries without visa: Algeria, Cuba, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Iran, Namibia, Sierra Leone, South Africa, Senegal, Turkey. But in Turkey, only diplomatic passport holders in Turkey, not service. Then Venezuela and Vietnam. These ones, people holding diplomatic and service passport can be able to visit these countries. But also, additionally, even if you are holding a service or diplomatic passport, you are required to travel with the following. Of course, diplomatic note. In some circles, it is called note verbal. In some circles, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you are supposed to get a permission, diplomatic note, to allow you travel to another country. Then a travel document, of course, a passport, which must be 6 months valid. And then return air ticket, which you must have booked. And then confirmed hotel booking for those who do not have hosts. Just because Malaysia does not ask visa from us does not make you wake up one morning and then rush to the airport and want to go to Kuala Lumpur without booking hotel. They will ask you for hotel booking, they will ask you for a passport, which must be 6 months valid, you know. But I have seen Ugandans who have just gone to the airport, just because I mentioned one time here that Cyprus, you don't need the visa to go to Cyprus, and they wake up one morning, they are going for tourism in Cyprus, and they are stuck at the airport. See why? Because they had not booked a hotel, they didn't have 6 months valid passports, and the ticket was one way. You must have a return ticket, something that will take you and back. We still have talks for ordinary passport holders of Uganda. These talks are almost coming to an end, and very soon Ugandans who hold ordinary passports will move visa-free to the Republic of South Africa very soon. We started with the diplomatic, we came to service passport, and now the talks are almost coming to a successful end. We shall have Ugandans going to South Africa visa-free. Of course, this is enabled by the fact that our passport now is gaining some level of strength. There are some documents which act as passport. I need, because you are media people and you need to inform people. There are some organizations which are international in nature, which issue some travel documents known as laissez-passer, issued by international organizations which are recognized by Uganda or to which Uganda is a member, and they are listed here. Let me just quickly scan through. United Nations organizations, they have a special document, a passport, and it is recognized here, visa-free. We have African Union. African Union has a special type of passport for its staff. African Development Bank, COMESA, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank. World Bank has their own type of passports, and even IMF. Then we have Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. IGAD also has a certain type of passport which is allowed here, visa-free. Then we have Environment Liaison Center International. Then we have African Airlines Travel Association, known as IATA. They also have their passport. Then we have International Labour Organization. They have their type of passport, visa-free. Then we have Preferential Trade Area, sometimes called Common Market of East and South African countries, known as COMESA. They also have their own passport. Then we have International Potato Center, CIP. We have African Reinsurance Corporation, ARC. We have African Reinsurance Corporation. We have African Housing Fund. Serving members of the British military are exempted from visa formalities. And of course, you also know that the only person who moves without a passport in the whole world and is allowed is the King of Britain. For him, he can wake up and go anywhere without visa. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Katwogereko wano mu Luganda katono. Of course, mbaletera obubaka kuva Ministry yaffe y'ensonga z'omunda nga bulijjo tubaagala nnyo, tubasiima nnyo emirimu gye mukola. Mugezaako nnyo okulabula abantu ku bintu bya passport, naye lwakuba abantu baffe nabo oluusi beesuulirayo gwanagamba abantu ne bebakola ki ne bebafera. Ngenda kutandika na kino ekya aba generals abakulu bayise okuddayo mu UPDF weekend ewedde, specifically ku Lwokuna ekiro twafuna obubaka nga bulagira Major General Apollo Kasita Goa ng'ono abadde omukungu yasembayo ge tuyita Chief of Citizenship and Immigration Control, yabadde akulira immigration, nga ne mulala Brigadier General Johnson Namanya ng'ono yabadde akulira ku bintu ebikwatagana ne passport n'obutuuze mu lufuutifuuti gye tuyita Citizenship and Passport Management. balagidwa okuddayo mangu ku kitebe kya UPDF Mbuya okubeera nga waliwo emirimu emirala egigenda okubaweebwa okukakalabya eludda eyo. Of course kino kyategeezeza nti bano abakulu emirimu gyabwe gyakomye mu National Citizenship and Immigration Control. Kati bwe twogerera bagenda kubanga baddayo ku kitebe kya UPDF babeere nga baweebwa emirimu emirala egy'eggwanga. Bano ba officer bombi of course baveeyo gye bagenze mu UPDF ne babasindika mu Ministry ya Internal Affairs ng'omwaka gugwako 2018. Mujjukira ekyo kiseera twakyusizaamu passport zaffe okuva mu zino ez'amaanyo nga tudda mu digital nga twakatandika ebintu bino ebyokuapplyinga online. Era tubeebaza nnyo bakola kinene nnyo okulaba nti transition eno eya passport kuva mu zino ez'amaanyo okudda mu zino eza digital bakola omulimu gw'amaanyi nnyo basupervisinga transition period eyo okuva mu passport za manual okudda mu passport zino. Era nzijukira twalina of course obwetaavu buli omu mu Uganda yalina obwetaavu bw'amaanyi okulaba nti akyusa passport. Twali twakatandikako covid n'ayingirawo mujjukira 2019 era emyaka endowooza gyali ebiri nga tetukolaawo 2021 bwe twagulawo twafuna abantu abayitirivu obungi. Lwaki? Lwakuba nti buli omu yali ayagala kutambula. Abantu abana business baali tebatambula nga buli omu alina ennyonta ey'okutambula okugenda okukola business ebweru, okugenda okufuna obujjanjabi ebweru. Waliwo abaali bamisinze okugenda okulya obulamu ebweru n'okugenda okukola tourism. Waliwo abaali bafunye scholarships nga bagenda kusoma. Then ne wabeerawo n'abo abaali bagenda okukola especially mu Buwarabu. Twafuna numbers z'amaanyi nnyo. Era ekyo kiseera we twabeerera ku passport nga tetwebaka. Twali processing passport 13 buli lunaku. So bano ba generals be ba overseeing bakola ennyo nga bwe kisoboka okulaba nti numbers ezo ziika wansi. Era kati wenjogerera bagenza okutuleka nga ekintu kiri mulaala. Twagala kubaagaliza olugendo olulungi byonna gye balaze mu bintu by'emirimu bye bagenda okukola. Era tubaagalize emirimu emirungi gyonna gye banaaba baweereddwa okusavinga eggwanga lyabwe. Naye njagala kwongerako nti emirimu mu internal affairs mu immigration kitambula bayita batya kinawadda. Emirimu kitambula kinawadda. Tewaliwo enkenyera yonna mu mirimu gyaffe ku ministry. Passport tuzigaba mu budde, visa tuzigaba mu budde. Emirimu gyonna department ya inspection ne compliance byonna bikola bulungi nnyo. Era tewaliwo enkenyera yonna mu mpeereza yaffe ku ministry oluvannyuma lw'abano abakulu okutuleka. So oyo yenna yeetaze services ku ministry ajje tujja kumuweereza nga bulijjo. Tewali nnyo kikyuse. Ekyokubiri njagala okubatuusaako obubaka wakati wa Uganda ne Egypt nti twatuusiza waliwo ekiwandiiko kye twataddeko omukono endagaano nga endagaano eno ekkiriza Abannayuganda abalina naddala bano abalina passport ez'abakungu, passport nga zino emyufu ez'abakungu ennyo, ne tubeera ne passport zino eza kiragala ze tuyita service passport nti kakati okutandikira ddala nga 18 February ndowooza wiiki ewedde teweetaaga visa bw'oba olina passport ya diplomatic, passport ya service okugenda Egypt okutandika ne 18 omwezi guno wiiki eno ewedde. Bw'oba olina passport ya diplomatic, passport ya service teweetaaga visa okugenda Egypt. Era kyekimu banaffe ab'e Egypt tebeetaaga visa kasita baba nga balina passport ya diplomatic ne service okuyingira wano ewaffe Uganda. Naye kyawukamuko kwabo abalina passport zino eza bulijjo zino ezaffe ze tuyita ordinary oba standard passport zino eza bululu. Nti bw'oba olina eyo eya bululu era abasinga obungi of course ze balina nti yo tewali kikyuse. Bw'oba oyagala kugenda Egypt olina okuteekamu okusaba ku ne bakuwa visa n'olyoka ogenda Egypt. Era njagala okukubiriza Abannayuganda abaagala okugenda Egypt especially eyo Cairo nti bw'oba olina passport ya diplomatic oba service tomala kavubutuka wano kumakya n'oyagala okulinnya ennyonyi nti ogenda Egypt. Olina okubeera sure nti olina passport ng'erina validity etaaka wansi wa myezi 6. Ekyo kye kimu. Ekyokubiri olina okulaba nti eri gy'olaga e Cairo oba Egypt generally nti ne hotelo gy'ogenda okusulamu wagibuukinze weeri. Era n'ekyokusatu nti olina air ticket nga ya return ng'ekutwala n'ekuza mu ggwanga. Ndowooza ntegerekese bulungi awo. Emabegakaawo nafulumya ekiwandiiko ku Twitter nga kirambika of course enkolagana yaffe eya Uganda ne ggwanga lino ery'Obuwarabu erya UAE nga likwatagana ne ku visa waiver. Era kati njagala kubategeeza nti n'okugenda UAE abangi gye bamanyi nga Dubai. Ne Dubai just kyekimu ku kitundu kya UAE. Ogenda Dubai kasita obanga olina passport ey'ekikungu eno eya emyufu oba eno eya service eya kiragala bambi teweetaaga kufuna visa okugenda okukyala Abu Dhabi oba Dubai mutera nnyo okugenda. Naye kyawukamuko nti abanaffe abava UAE okujja wano e Uganda bo passport zonna nezo eza ordinary zino eza bulijjo ajja wano Uganda nga teyetaaze visa. Naye ffe Abannayuganda olina okuba nga olina diplomatic ne service. Naye kasita oba nga olina eno eyaffe eya bulijjo eno eya bululu olina okuba nga oteekamu visa okugenda Dubai. Lwaki kiriwo ekityo kwegamba ffe nga Uganda tukyetaaga nnyo abantu abo okujja eno okutukyalira. Naye oba oli awo bo tebatwetaaga nnyo okugenda eri. So bo bakkiriza passport ez'ekikungu zokka eza diplomatic ne service okugendayo. Bw'oba olina ordinary passport olina okufuba olaba nti osabye visa okugendayo. Ekisembayo njagala kwebaza Uganda Police nti ekikwekweto kye bakoze olwaddayi Soroti mu Eastern Uganda twasobodde okukwata passport 261. Passport zino tetunaba kuzikebera ba namu oba bicupuli naye bakoze ekikwekweto nga kiri intelligence led. Twafunye amawulire era twagala kwebaza Uganda Police naddala polisi yaffe eyo mu Soroti abasobodde okununula zino passport n'okuyamba Abannayuganda ababadde abaferebwa erudde eyo. Njagala mu buufu bwe bumu njagala okukubiriza Abannayuganda abaagala passport nti bambi tetukolerangako passport yonna olwadayi ekifo bakita olwadayi n'olaba omunnayuganda ayagala passport n'agenda olwaddayi okufuna passport. Riri twebereremu nga bannayuganda. Passport nzije njogera wano passport offices buli lwembeera wano nga nzogerako sijjukiranga olunaku n'olumu okwogera ku olwaddayi passport center sijjukira sijjukirako kubanga passport ekolebwa Ministry ya Internal Affairs yokka. Teri ministry endala yonna, teri authority yonna ekola passport kujjako immigration eri wano ku Ministry ya Internal Affairs ensonga z'omunda. Era ministry eno mukimanyi bulungi nti eri wano ku Old Port Bell Road. Of course abannayuganda abamu luli twafuna okubuzaabuzibwamu nti bajja ku Internal Affairs nga bakozesa gate eno eya Jinja Road. Eyo gate twagigala ndowooza emyaka kati giwezeba mu 7. Lwaki twagala gate eyo? Lwakuba abantu baffe baali bafunirawo nnyo obubenje kubanga wali bize nnyo. Kati ne tugulawo gate eri side ya Old Port Bell Road. Kati bw'oba ku Ministry ya Internal Affairs bambi tokozesa wano Jinja Road n'osanga kubanga waliwo omuntu eyankubidde esimu n'agamba naye gate eyo tusanga buli lunaku nzigale nga ategeeze neya eri ku Jinja Road. Tetugulawo gate eyo kubanga yaliwo nga tufunirawo obubenje bungi. Lumu bakonerawo abantu 4 olunaku lumu awo wenyini awo. Kwe kusalawo nti tugalewo gate eyo tuwonye abantu baffe okufa. Kati twada ku side ya Old Port Bell Road olutali bize nnyo. So kati bw'oba oze ku ministry oyise eno ku Jinja Road n'osanga ng'enzigale weetooloole bwoti ekikomera ekyo ojja kulaba gate eri wansi ng'ogenda ku side ey'erufula ojja kulaba gate nga zigule. Teri muntu yenna kugaana kuyingira mu Ministry ya Internal Affairs. Ministry ya Internal Affairs y'Abannayuganda n'abantu bonna abaagala services. So n'olwekyo teri muntu akutiisa kuyingira. Ne bw'olaba poliisi abali awo bonna bakuumi b'eddembe baliwo okulaba nti tewali buzibu bwonna. Security ebeera gulugulu. Poliisi bantu bammwe. Poliisi eba ekuyamba ggwe. So tolaba poliisi ku gate ate n'odduka nti waliwo poliisi okujjako ng'oli mumenyi w'amateeka. So jangu Ministry of Internal Affairs bw'oba weetaaze processing passport. Era ennaku zino twabyanguyamu nti passport ogikolera ku mutimbagano. Genda ku website link yaffe eri open www.passports.go.ug. Simanyi okukyogera mu Luganda kino www kyokyo. Ndowooza katukirekeraawo. Passports.go oba katonyeza ndowooza lwaki neemenya katukirekeraawo. Ekyo wekityo. Kakati bw'ogenda awo nyangu nnyo. Katukiriza Abannayuganda nti abali mu East mugende e Mbale waliwo passport office. Abali mu North mugende Gulu tulinayo passport office. Abali mu West Nile tulina Arua. Abali wano ewaffe Jinja wano kumpi tulinawo office wano e Jinja ekola ku bintu bya passport bulungi nnyo. Waliwo Embarara. Kakati abali ebweru we Uganda tulinawo London, tulinawo Washington, tulinawo Ottawa e Canada, tulinawo Copenhagen e Denmark, tulinawo e Turkey, tulinawo Pretoria South Africa, tulinawo Beijing e China. Zino zonna zikola ku Bannayuganda. Era n'enyongerezaako nti waliwo Abannayuganda ababeera mu mawanga nga kati juzi bano abagenda e Cambodia ne bafunirayo obuzibu. Tetulinayo embassy e Cambodia. Era embassy yaffe ekola e Cambodia yene ye Malaysia. So kyokola wobeera mu ggwanga naye nga tetulinamu ekitebe, tetulinamu embassy, tetulinamu passport office. Kyokola oba akatabu ko kakuweddeko oba kabuze ate ng'oyagala kutambula mu bwangu, emergency case. Kyokola genda ku passport office ey'eggwanga eryo. Owedde njogerawo n'amawanga we tutalina embassy nga Brazil nga Argentina tetulinayo embassy. So kyokola gendayo mu office yaabwe ofisi yaba abakola passport z'eggwanga eryo waliwo of course entegeraganya gye tulina nga tuyitira mu kitongole ekifuga ebya passport kye tuyita ICAO ng'ekkiriza eggwanga eddala okuwa omutuuze atali waawe akapapula akamutambuza paka wano ewaffe. Of course naffe wano waliwo abagwira ababeera wano ne bafunirawo obuzibu ne babuza oluusi ne babuza passport zaabwe, so tubawa ate nga tebalina ebitebe wano bajja ne tubawa ebipapula ebyo ne bibatwala ewaabwe. So teri situation yonna eforcing omunnayuganda okugenda mu baffere. Era neŋŋamba nti eno national ID kati bagigazetinga nga travel document gy'otambulirako. Kati osobola okukozesa endagamuntu n'ogenda e Rwanda ng'oyise ne ku kisaawe Entebbe, si nti ng'oyise ku border point nedda ssebo n'ennyabo. Eno ID ekuyamba n'oyita e Malaba n'ogenda e Kenya. Oyinza okuyita ku airport n'oflyinga n'ogenda e Kenya. Naye kyokka nina okwongerako nti ID ekola mu mawanga asatu gokka. Of course twafuna entegeragana eyo ekola wakati wa Uganda, Rwanda ne Kenya. Kakati ne bw'oba ogenda Tanzania wotosobola okukozesa national ID. Tulinawo obudocument obulala bwe tukozesa. Obudocument buno waliwo amawanga ge tugabana borders tuziyita land borders nga Tanzania ng'ogitwalidde, South Sudan nga DR Congo nga Burundi. Gana amawanga waliwo akapapula ke bakuwa bakayita temporary movement permit, okasanga eyo ku border mu ofisi zaffe era bakatunda mutwalo gumuwe guti gwoka nekuyamba n'okola ki n'otambula n'ogenda. So njogedde bino byonna ngegezaako okulaba nti abantu baffe tebafuna buzibu okukola ki okugenda ne bagwera mu bafferefere bano abo banoonya ssente. Ate abafere bo bangi. Ate njagala kwongerako nti ffe nga immigration oba government tetulina control ku bantu bano, kubanga oba tomanyi bwe bali weero bwe tumanya nti bali wano nga kati bwe twategedde Soroti twagenze ne tukola ekikwekweto ne tukwata bano, naye abangi nnyo abakolera wano mu kibuga tetumanyi we bali. So n'olwekyo tetusobola kuba prevailinga over kubanga tetumanyi we bali. Naye gwe ng'omunnayuganda bambi weebeereremu ng'omunnayuganda. Nsuubira nti omunnayuganda yenna ayagala kugenda ebweru abeeramuko n'okutegeera nti passport bagijja mu ofiisi za internal affairs wonna we ziri, nti tebagijja omuntu tajja n'akulimbalimba n'omuwa ssente. Nakitegeeteko nti bano bakutte bano waliwo abannayuganda abatunda passport zaabwe wiringire nga bazitunda mwabo abaffere abakolagana ne groups z'abantu babeereyo e Dubai. Passport nga baali bazitunda million 10 eza Uganda buli passport. Kakati passport okuzitunda sinti bagenda kuzitambulirako, tekikyasoboka okukola ki okutambulira ku passport etaliyo naddala eyaffe wano gye tukola. Kati kye bakola passport eno bazeeyambisa mu kutambuza ebiragalalagala. Nga bwe mukimanyi mawanga nga China n'amalala geeyo tebasobola okwawula abantu abaddugavu babiri okutwawula nga tebakozeseza ekyuma. Katugeze nze noono muganda wange tebasobola kutwawula. So passport bazikozesa mu bintu ng'ebyo ebyokutambuza ebiragalalagala, si byakutambulirako. Ate njagala kumaliza ng'eŋŋamba nti passport ye Uganda kati kizibu nnyo okukifojinga. Tusobola okujingajinga passport ye Uganda kubanga mulimu akachip akuma ke twateekamu ate akuma kaliko nyingi nnyo gyolaba n'amago ne bwoteekako gabizo tosobola kulaba mention eno. Naye okukyuka bw'olaba ku page ogenda okulabangako basic information eno eraga anya wazaali witi wazaliwa bwa naye ebintu bingi bikwese mu kakiiko ako twatweka mu passport era ebirime ebirala mulembe nnyo ate biri bya buseere nnyo sikiwaliwo omuntu yenomerayokola ekyo so byuma bino biri ku ma airport sikuka bw'otambula ku airport nga bakyandaba nga bateeka mukyuma information eyo nga oteekako ebimu nolwekyo njagala bambi twebeeremu emufuuka ekisekererwa nga bamaze okubapa sente olanonoka embadde njogerako mu luzungu nti buvuddeko twateekawo ebikwatagana n'entambula nga bikwata special abagwira abajja wano ewaffe tukugamba oba olina muntu wo oba muganda nga yagenda naye kati yakabumuntu yawaayo citizenship ye Uganda ayagala kujja alina okuba nti atwandikira ebbaluwa naye ddala alina okusaba visa nga gisabira ku mukutu nateekako ebbaluwa ye nateekako passport aye passport erina okuba nga tesuuka teri wansi wa myezi 6 validity then of course n'akafaananyi n'etiketi ye ate etiketi eno erina okuba nga emuuzaayo emuleeta n'emuuzaayo era passport visa ejja kututwalira saawa 48 zokka ne tukola ki nga tujja approvinga era ne bategeeza nti tulina ne list wano omunauganda wasobola okugenda nga teyeetaaze visa countries nga Antigua, Barbuda, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Botswana, Burundi, Comoros, Cyprus, DR Congo, Eritrea, zino zonna twetaaga visa okukyalira amawanga gano g'ensoma Fiji, Gambia, Ghana, Grenada, Hong Kong, Ireland, Jamaica, Kenya, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Malaysia, Malta, Mauritius, Mozambique, Rwanda, Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Singapore, Solomon Island, Southern Sudan, St. Vincent, Swaziland, enaku zino bagiyita Eswatini, Swaziland. Tewetaaga visa ogendayo. Tonga, Trinidad and Tobago, United Arab Emirates ng'oba olina passport ya kiragala ne ya red zokka. Tanzania wano, Zambia ne Zimbabwe. Era nabagambako nti tulina enjogeraganya ekyagenda mu maaso wakati wa Uganda government ne government ya South Africa nga bikwata kujjawo visa. Twasookera ku visa zino z'abaana okujjawo visa zino z'abaana abalina passports za diplomatic ne service passport. Kakati ekiddako passport zino eziri ordinary zino ezaffe za bululu. Bonna abalina passport zino ekiseera kyonna Katonda bw'aba ayagadde tugenda kuba nga nzija wano mpategeeza nti visa evuddewo wakati wa Uganda ne South Africa. Era kino kyonna kiraga amaanyi ga passport ya Uganda katugetuuseeko. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale nnyo. Some questions, yes? Okay.
Then someone reacted online complaining about Congo saying becoming passport
dollar or passport or visa? Passport. Oh. Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, ani ndoza byebyo. Oh, okay, ndawa tukoye. Okusokera ddala kantu andikene kino ekisembyeyo bagenerals okuyitibwa okuddayo ku UPDF. Kino kya bulijjo emirimu gino egyaffe gye tukola kya bulijjo. Bano bagenerals bamaze emyaka gigenda kuwera mu 8 tekibanga nawo tekibanga nawo routine. Nange ndi wano leero wiiki ejja ayinza obutaba nga zaakomawo wano akaseera konna batukyusa batujjawo era kya bulijjo. Si nti waliwo reason ndi lwakuba kino kyabadde tewali nsonga yonna emirimu tukola nova wano notawa naye kujja wano mu internal affairs waliwo gye bava waliwo gye bava okujja wano mu internal affairs. So of course ne mu internal affairs balina okuva mu internal affairs bagenda awalala basavingeko awalala. So ekintu kiri routine tekyekwata ku nsonga yonna eri awo nti oba bagaana ono oba oli passport nedda sebo. Ekintu ekyo ekya passport bakyaddressinga dda era kati tetulinaako buzibu bwonna mu ministry obukwatagana n'omuntu yenna complaininga ku bintu bya passport. Ekitwa waliwo guidance president gyawa era gye tugoberera. So obuzibu obwo president yabufunira dde eddagala tewali buzibu bwonna obukwatagana ne passport muntu yenna ayetaaze passport ewaffe. Kyokubiri, what is the fate of ordinary passport holder? Nga bulijjo bano abalina passport eza bulijjo ezaffe eza bululu bajja kweyongera nga basaba visa okukola ki okugenda mu mawanga nga Dubai, I mean UAE. Of course abasinga obungi bagenda Dubai ne Abu Dhabi bajja kusigala nga basaba visa batega mu visa. Naye tekitegeeza nti ffe tubaliko tukyayogera ne government zino okulaba nti n'oyo alina passport eri ordinary asituka wano n'agenda Dubai nga teyetaaze ki visa. Tetukikomeze naye twatandise ne bano aba waliwo wetutandikira twatandise ne diplomatic ne tudda ku service kati obudde bwonna tudda ku ki tudda ku ordinary. So abantu bano abaffe ababulijjo bakumiikirize obudde bwonna oba oli awo nja kujja wano.
NBS happening now. NBS happening now.
Madam Chairperson, the under absorption was in respect to 2 loans, 2 pipeline loans that didn't materialize by the close of the financial year. We had planned to receive this money, but by 30th June 2025, this money had not materialized to a tune of about 2 trillion. And this was largely in respect to our, like you have said, our obligations to Bank of Uganda in respect to the treasury bills and bonds. But ultimately this money came short after the close of the financial year, and through a supplementary that we came here and was approved. This money was paid out to clear these outstanding obligations to Bank of Uganda to the tune of 1.8 trillion.
Can you give us more details about those 2 activities that you are talking about, the 2 loans that were delayed? What were the details?
This was a loan from Afrexim Bank and Eco Bank.
Exim and what?
Afrexim and the Eco Bank.
Eco Bank.
Yeah.
Specifically for?
For budget support.
Okay.
And in respect to paying off our treasury bills, redemptions, and the tenant interest.
Honorable colleagues. Yes, Honorable Choma.
Thank you, Chair. This is a great concern because whenever we are in appropriation, you normally emphasize those statutory obligations. Can you share with us what the implication of this very action is? The implication, the financial implication for that matter.
Fortunately, other than the obligation crossing over to a new financial year, 2025-26, the delayed payment did not have any financial implication because the Bank of Uganda was aware of this, and this money was being expected. It was just a delay that the money was not received within the financial year. But as soon as we received the money, it was paid off to Bank of Uganda.
Through you, Chair, talk as an accountant. You are supposed to have paid before the end of the financial year, right?
Correct.
And you didn't pay. So we are interested in the implications. Or else, will you tell this committee, will you tell us that, by the way, it doesn't matter, with these statutory payments, you can pay them in any financial year?
Honorable Chair, it matters, really. When, first of all, delayed payments attract penalties. But in this case, Bank of Uganda is a government bank. And also, we had clearly updated them of what had caused the delay. And when the money came, it was given first priority. We actually wanted to pay this money, but we thought since the money had been appropriated, these loans had been approved by Parliament, that we could do straight away go and pay. So that delay was caused by the procedural requirements. We had to come back to Parliament to approve a supplementary to allow us to pay in the new financial year.
Honorable Chair, you see these obligations, interest penalties, are calculated automatically by the system. So do you want to tell us that at this point, BOU manipulated the system not to capture what would be the interest or penalty?
I need to confirm this. I need to confirm this. My team, whether the 1.82 trillion had the penalty charges. I know we had also requested Bank of Uganda because of this delay to waive off the interest. I agree with you, it's calculated automatically, but I think this was waived off. I need to confirm that. With your permission, Chair.
Well, if you could provide those details, because even waiving off is a process, it is not automatic. It's a process, it has to be authorized. If you would provide those details to the committee, we would be grateful.
Madam Chair, we shall. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Cooper.
Chair, on that table, I think this is too big a figure to be just put as others. The 600 billion, the 0.6 trillion. Can you unpack that? What does? On table 1, table showing budget performance for treasury operations during 24-25 financial year. I see it in that table, there is that figure. Can we have that unpacked and we see?
That is item 242003.
Yes. Or just others?
On the table showing budget performance for top during 2024-25.
Or we have some explanations to that, because it's too, in accounting, that's a too big a figure to be just put as others.
No, we can break that down.
Sure.
This is basically the loan fees. We have things like agency fees.
No, you break it down. Just give us the breakdown, which totals to that amount.
Okay, we shall do that. Thank you very much.
Maybe, Chair, as the accounting office provide that information, I request to refer him and the team to page 41 on note 16. Page 41 of accounts, note 16, finance costs. And I can see that for the financial year in question.
That is page 41?
41, Chair, the first table up. Other finance costs, penalty charges on securities, rate reimbursements, and I'm seeing 167 plus billion. Could you relate it to what we have been talking about or explain it if it was not related?
Madam Chair, this is a cumulative figure over the financial year, not specifically.
Given that is cumulative, so what is it that actually relates to what we have been talking about?
What we are talking about here, Madam Chair, was in respect to just two loans. The loans from EcoBank and the Afrexim. But over the years, we...
yes. But I'm saying now distinguish it and tell us what that one resulted in. Because the fact that it is penalty charges on securities, rate reimbursements, other finance costs.
In other words, accounting officer, yes. It is very simple.
Yeah.
Because you have just told us that delay did not affect you in any way because it was Bank of Uganda and it's Bank of Uganda.
Agreed.
It's our bank and you can't suffer any penalty.
Not really, but in respect to those two loans.
In respect to those two loans.
Yeah, because
but also that brings us to this 167 billion. Can you do us a favor and explain how did you reach to this penalty of 167?
Madam Chair, when the Bank of Uganda or government issues the treasury bills or bonds, government is expected to honor them at maturity. And in our memorandum of understanding with the bank, they pay this on our behalf, just for purposes of giving the market assurance. Sometimes we have liquidity issues. Like I've explained here, the two loans, which we had anticipated to materialize during the financial 2024-25, but this never happened. So naturally, these attract penalties. So therefore, in many occasions, the bank has honored these obligations on our behalf. But sometimes the cash flow to refund this money to Bank of Uganda is not readily available. We have to get the money from URA, our development partners, and sometimes this is not come in as the plan. Hence, these penalty charges.
So if I may ask as a lay person, do you want to mean that these penalty charges arise out of poor financial management and poor planning on our part? Because I don't know, is 167 billion as a penalty, to you, is that insignificant? Can we say it is insignificant?
On the face of it here, Madam Chairperson, this is a lot of money. I agree with you. But this is our understanding with the bank. I think also to ensure that we have discipline on our side as government. And also These are internationally benchmarked frameworks. I know we try our best to ensure that we pay our obligation to the central bank as our memorandum of understanding. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't realize this revenue in time, both from our domestic revenues and from our development partners.
Yes, Honorable
On
Shabi.
this,
Let Honorable Shabi come in first.
Chair, I just want him to, I lost him or he lost me somewhere. Our colleague asked the impact of the delay. You said there was none.
On the two transactions,
The
that
two
is what he said.
transactions, that's what you said. And now he took you to 16C. By the way, I'm looking for this schedule 16C. I'm not, huh? There is a schedule 16C, which I am failing to find out here. But I just wanted to confirm that our colleague has taken you to this 167. Are you trying to say that this one was treated different from this? And if that is the case, is this the best way to go in management so that government can save money always? Because it looks like in history, we have the impact is these interest rates. The question is, can we pick that as a good practice from these two, and we always operate like that so that we can save?
Yes, the Accountant General also to respond to that.
Accountant General, as you respond to this, honorable colleagues, if you look at the trend of these penalties, in the year 30th June 2024, they had penalties worth 250 billion, 200.983 billion. If one picked interest in looking through how much we have lost under penalties for the previous 5 years, don't you think that can be quite a huge amount of money compared to the way your budget performs? So, as you do make your submission, we must pick interest, because you are all aware of the challenges that we have in debt management, all these ones, the amount that we pay out of failure to, utilize this money in time, all of this. So we cannot underscore this huge amount of money. 250 billion, all 167 billion. We were looking at the budget that is allocated to all regional referral hospitals, and they had a budget, all regional referral hospitals had a budget of close to 448 billion. Now, for you in a year, in penalties, you make us waste close to, in the year 2024, you made us lose 250 billion. That can fund literally to close to 8 referral hospitals in this country. We cannot say that you can be efficient to 100%. But to me, I think we can look for ways of avoiding this. But you can respond.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for that observation. And we're in agreement with the observation that this needs to change. Like you have right to observe that when you see the end of 2025, it went down. I also want to make a commitment here. Of course, this is not something that can give us a sleep. We are working around the clock to bring these figures down. And I think as we close this financial year, it will be a different story. So we are in agreement with the observation that we need to have frameworks that are really robust to ensure that we don't incur these penalties. Yes, Honorable Chair.
What you say, that's where my interest is. When you're saying that there's something you're doing, I asked whether what you did with these two is the way to go. Can you then answer my question?
Yeah, Accountant General will respond to that. Thank you.
Honorable Chairperson and members, I want to agree entirely with the committee on the need to significantly reduce these charges. These are obligations, so we cannot default. BOU pays, so we have to pay them on time. First, I wanted to assure members that the picture this financial year is likely to be very different. As we speak now, we don't have any unpaid obligations with BOU. As of last week, everything was paid to the dot. So, but there are always timing differences. Remember, every Wednesday, Bank of Uganda issues treasury bills. So inevitably, every Wednesday, there are those that are maturing, the 1 year. So when they pay, they will always, we reconcile with them. So there is always 2, 3 days, weeks, when we are still reconciling. So there will be charges, but they will significantly drop. And we want to get to a position where they are almost insignificant, that we can tell BOU, don't charge us for 1 month, because it's reconciliation. We now agreed to 60 days to be within the concessional rates. After 60 days, they go to commercial rate. And this year, we've not had any extending beyond 60 days. And as we speak now, we don't have any unsettled redemptions with BOU.
Chair, my last one on this, yes, Mr. Accountant General, we will appreciate that. And that's what all of us are looking out to. However, as we proceed, there is where you actually now renamed what was a temporary borrowing from BOE, but we shall get there to long term. And to me, just that one alone, you cannot tell me that we are not indebted to BOU. Actually, it is a matter of now twisting that instead of it being short term, it is now long term, but still it remains an obligation. But we shall get to that. And my friend, Mr. Ojambo, I have been with Mr. Ojambo for some time. And I'm looking forward to finding most of the details on in what we have promised to provide. But there is what we need to correct. You see, I'm on record, and you're also on what? On record. And when I asked you about the 167.197 billion on page 41, you said it is cumulative.
No, it is.
No, we should correct it. I want to take you to page 15. Page 15, same accounts. Page 15, same accounts in the statement of financial performance of the year in question.
Chair, procedure. Procedure, Chair. Chair, I requested for Schedule 16C, and I expect the accounting officer to point where it is, as my colleague continues.
Yes, as you do continue, this side, accounting officer, you are going to be provided with note 25 on payables of the consolidated accounts that shows an unpaid reimbursement of 1.9 billion to BOU. Are you aware of that?
Sorry,
Trillion.
Madam Chair was attending to Schedule 16C.
Yeah, in addition, as you attend to that schedule, he's going to give you, Isma, show him a copy of the consolidated accounts and a note 25. I don't know whether you have it. Note 25 that shows unpaid reimbursements that total to 1.9 trillion that led you to pay the penalty of 167 billion. Is that true? Is that true?
No. That's in the...
That is in consolidated accounts. You assist him with that copy.
Chair, what is in the consolidated account is the closing balance of our indebtedness to BOU. That's the
1.9 something trillion.
And it's what the accounting officer explained, that the 2 loans we expected were supposed to exactly pay that figure. and they are related. So this money that we didn't get on time from Afri-Exim and EcoBank was to settle that 1.9.
9 trillion.
So the interest, the 167, is a penalty on unsettled during the year. So from July, August, September, any delay, BOU charges us. So if you take longer, more than 60 days, the rates are even higher.
Yeah.
So hope that is sorted.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted us to agree that actually it is not cumulative, rather it relates to the financial year in question when you refer to the statement of financial performance for the period on page 15.
We are in agreement, Honorable.
Thank you, because all of us are on record, and we needed to put the record straight. Thank you, Chair.
Let's also handle this with 2.12, the underutilization of warrants.
Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
You remember a question which was related to mine, which Honorable Oshabe asked.
Sorry?
The Honorable Oshabe asking about Schedule C, 16C, because we are not seeing it, because it's also on the issues of others, just like the other one,
yes,
which I had asked on. So can we, because where is that?
Madam Chair,
is it Auditor General or it is Finance that should provide that?
Madam Chair, again, request for your indulgence here. We have that schedule not with us here. I kindly request that we provide it with the documents you have requested for.
That is schedule?
16C.
Why didn't you come with it?
Because this figure should be complete by the time it comes to this committee. Because we can go to present the things in Parliament and say, what is this others? You will make us look fools because we are struggling to explain and yet we don't have the figures.
Thank you very much, Chairperson and members, for the guidance.
And the others is too big.
Subsequently move with those schedules.
Yeah. But you can explain this, why others is way bigger than the items, as when you look, normally when we put others, they should be the list. But look at this. That's why I'm much interested. Others, how come others is way bigger than?
Madam Chair, again, I seek for the indulgence of members. I think when we unpack the others, we should have an appreciation of what is contained there. So I kindly request that we provide.
I think the issue is that why the figure is so big. Because when you use the word others, it should be a summation of significant figures, not to really. That's the essence of using the word others. They are insignificant. Just like if you said, say, miscellaneous, it should be. So that's the concern. But anyway, I think you provide.
Probably we shall address that and unpack that with the specific. Sometimes we are limited by the chart of accounts, so I think we shall unpack that and provide the codes. You know, as we contract loans, every loan has its uniqueness, and some of these charges, the associated costs, we fail to place them in the existing chart of accounts code, but we take note of the guidance.
You'll have them in the explanatory notes to cover that, yeah.
Okay, we shall have that submitted, but it would have been in your interest to submit, aware that it has a huge figure, it would have been in your interest to submit it so that we can also get to know what is composed of others.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
You should also explain to us why that other, the amount warranted was not all absorbed. Maybe it is because of the unspecific budgeting, because could be they did not know what to spend the money on. So we shall also need to know that.
Yes, I want to presume that